So today I am going to talk to you about family dynamics and how to feel comfortable with them. I know that for some of us during the Christmas months, it can be stressful. So I really wanted to give us some ways today that we can feel comfortable in whatever family dynamics we have going on. Don't mind me, I'm just getting things sorted here. Okay, then let's start with your family that you grew up in. Okay, so I would say that we should start there and then work our way to where you are in the present day. So, if you can think of a few different ways that maybe you would have liked or would like, let's say your parents to have been there for you. So just start thinking of a few ways that you would have liked your parents to be there for you. We're not going to go into judgments too much. It's not about that. It's more about the fact that you're trying to come up with those things now. Okay? So what you want a clear picture of is where would you like that support to be given to you? So let's say the support you feel that you lacked from your parents or your siblings or your extended family or whomever, going back to a young age, just try and pinpoint specifically what it was that you would have liked to have had. And we're going to get to where that's going to come from in a minute. So just be thinking about what would you have liked to have had. So maybe it is some more emotional support. Maybe it is to have been able to communicate some of the deeper emotional, mental things, struggles that you were going through, and have someone hold space for some of those more volatile emotions to come out and not run away, not avoid or berate or attack you for them, but just hold space for them and get to a resolution space. So some kind of emotional support, emotional regulation. Maybe it was to have more physical touch and support, care, in place of maybe some physical abuse. Maybe it was to have more quality time spent together doing things that were fun. I don't know, like it could be anything. It could be playing board games, it could be going out to museums, it could be just sitting and playing a board, like playing a game of talking, asking each other's questions. Find all of those things and just kind of have them in mind. Like those are the things that you wish you could have had more of, or even just had at all. And then let's say that you want more quality conversations where you're going a little bit more in depth. If you can ask yourself, is it possible, like based on the circumstances, is it possible that you could open up that space with them now? Could you tell them about those things? Because there is actually a way that you guys could take action on those things together now. And if the answer is no, maybe the parent just isn't open to that. Maybe there's physical distance between you and that's not possible. Maybe there's just some reason that that's not possible. Then what you can do is understand that now that is your opportunity to essentially allow the universe to find that support that you're looking for that wasn't there, that maybe it can be there. Maybe that support that you were looking for from someone in the past and you've figured that out now and you know what you wanted. Maybe that can be found in your present space. Like maybe there is someone that you already know, or maybe it's about allowing that space to be created clearly and confidently for the universe to fill that in with somebody else. So when you think about all the things that you really wish you would have had growing up, maybe just a space to express yourself so that you could be more confident in your voice, and not feel so outcasted, not feel so weird and it's like there's something wrong with you, because you didn't have that emotional support, you didn't have that parental support, or wherever the support could have or should have come from. It wasn't there, and so you can see how it hinders you in the present day, so that maybe when you do have family get-togethers, or when you do get together with friends, or just strangers, even co-workers, even there's this gap in your ability to actually enjoy or even allow for that situation to be the resolution. Like maybe you dread, Christmas with family rather than actually see it as an opportunity to heal and to find and to fix some of those things. And that's because, there's unhealed stuff going on there. So what I'm suggesting for you to do is figure out those little pockets of what you want and either try to recreate them. So, for example, when you're really clear on the fact that you would like to have, like, be specific, like you would like to have, somebody, whether it's family or friend, whatever, stranger even, doesn't, whoever, co-worker, you would like to be able to sit next to them in a room that is, it's aesthetically pleasing, let's say, and, maybe have some tea or some coffee each, and just be able to have like a good amount of time where you're both not rushed and it doesn't feel like you have to move on to the next thing. Like you don't have to go somewhere or be somewhere for like a good hour. Like there's just time to go and open your voice and share whatever you want to share. And it's not time that you're trying to fill awkwardly. It's time that you get to express yourself and really feel this emotional healing take place, this communicative embodiment of a big part of you begin to express and open up and not feel in a rush to do it. That's getting very specific, right? Rather than like maybe you do meet up with a friend and you start to like worry about what you're going to talk about, and you start to like worry about them being in your space or you being in their space, and like, are they going to feel just fear? Are they going to feel, just going into all the like protective mechanisms so that you don't end up getting together with this person. Rather than doing that, it's like doing the complete opposite, where you start to think about a perfect scenario where you get to, like, sometimes I'll think about how all the stuff that, you know, happened growing up that was painful, there gets to be like an opportunity in my future or in my present moment where I just feel so free and open to express these things that have been bottled up in there for a long time. And the feeling is like almost like it's okay that it all happened. I'm actually alright now that I get to express this. It was a long period of like just trying to get through and trying to push through and trying to just get to the next moment. And yes, that stuff is, but like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And that's kind of the family dynamic thing that I'm trying to work into our core here. That light that's there rather than going into the fear. So one way to like really bring this up is, you know, you could talk to someone that you wish this could happen with, and just see if that takes you somewhere, you know, like really imagine your perfect scenario, and obviously like go into it with like, okay, this is my perfect scenario, this is what I really hope would happen Christmas Day, this is like an idea of some fun that I would love to see happen. And then like when the day comes that you do actually meet that friend, see that family member, have that Christmas dinner, you know, whatever it is, you don't have this like expectation of it happening. You just allow for the universe to get to that eventually. It's kind of like sowing a seed. So you plant a seed in the ground, and you know, the next week you don't necessarily, I mean, depending on which plant it is, you don't necessarily expect it to have grown yet. Sometimes you do, sometimes it's sprouted already. But other times, you know, it can take a while for that seed to germinate. It can take a while for it to grow. But eventually, you know, in a year's time, let's say, it will have grown. Something will have moved. Unless you've got one of those really slow growing seeds or something. But eventually, it will grow. And so if you are planting seeds that are that you genuinely want to grow, like you want to see the fruition of that seed, that is eventually going to happen for you. If you're stuck planting seeds that you don't want to see the fruition of, again, they're eventually going to grow as well. And so you really have to tend to those seeds and say to yourself, okay, I've been planting these seeds of, let's say, fear and doubt surrounding, and like pain, and you know, all this stuff surrounding my relationship with whoever, right? And I've been tending to it, and I don't need to tend to it. I can take that seed out of the ground and I can say, you know, you've taught me a lesson, but I don't want to see you grow anymore. What I want to see grow are these seeds over here that are full of more of what I actually genuinely want to create and see. Because sometimes we can be creating on autopilot these seeds that are like actually creating more conflict. So when they start to grow, they like remind us of like pain, and they remind us of conflict, and it's almost like we're planting these, you know, this greenery that's full of spikes, And then when it starts to grow, we're like, whoa, I can't even touch it. It's so spiky and so harsh. Why did I grow this? Oh my God, what did I do? Life hates me. Like, why do I have this prickly plant in front of me? Like, what is this? And we start to worry and panic, but all we gotta do is just chop that down and be like, okay, this isn't the seed that I want to grow any more of. And that's not to try and say that prickly plants aren't useful. They are. They have their uses. But like, what do I really want to see more of? And it's okay if there's a couple of prickly plants here and there. I'm not gonna just go crazy and like try and rip them all out and just never have to see a prickly plant ever again. But like the metaphor is that like you aren't purposefully seeding that yourself. It's okay if you come across one in someone else's garden. It's like, okay, well, they exist, and I just gotta make sure I don't walk on them, because ouch, that hurts. But planting seeds that are based on your personal wants surrounding the dynamic, the relationship. Now, what is it you actually want to experience with this person or with any person? Like, the thing is that it doesn't really matter who it is, it matters what you guys experience together. And so, even though, like family can feel quite close, and they are, you maybe are connected to them more than, say, just some stranger, even that like lives down the street. There's things that are connected over, like, it doesn't matter how far away you are or whatever, there's stronger bonds with certain people than others. But the point is that it doesn't matter who they are, it doesn't matter what bonds you've got. What do you really want to experience as a person? And you can get very clear and specific about what you want to experience based on each relationship, or you can just say across the board, here are the seeds that I want to plant, and I specifically want them to come to fruition, where I get to feel comfortable in my own skin. Like when these plants grow with this other person, let's say, or with this family dynamic, let's say, I feel comfortable in that room, in that space. I can put my guard down a little bit and actually share a more authentic part of myself, whether that's speaking up and being honest about my opinion, or whether that's, showing up and maybe feeling a little bit under the weather or uncomfortable about something I'm dealing with emotionally, but having a space held where there's no judgment, and however long it takes for me to get back to a joy state doesn't matter. All that matters is that I'm showing up and I'm trying to plant seeds that are like more amenable to what I want and to what the other relationships in my life are probably wanting. So the more specific we can get, like, the better. If you are having like fearful or dreading thoughts toward a certain dynamic or person or family thing, whatever, friend thing, co-worker thing, I would say try and really picture what it is you want to happen. And even if that's not possible, you can picture that happening with someone that is possible with. And I know that it might not feel the same way, because you kind of want this relationship over here to work, and maybe this relationship that is in your life, even though it means something to you, it might not be the area that you want to work on. If you can't work on this relationship that's over here, let's say, but you take the same kinds of dynamic of what you would like to happen in that relationship and you apply it to the relationship that is in front of you, wherever and whatever that is, it will heal and resolve more than you can, like, I guess, fully understand right now. And it will act as this, yeah, this healing balm that really makes you feel like, you know what, it doesn't matter if I can't fix this thing over here. I can work with what is directly in my vicinity, and even if I don't I think I care as much about this relationship over here as I do with this one. Actually, I care because it's in my direct vicinity. It is what is, just coming up in my reality. So I care about it more than this relationship over here that is kind of, it's harder because maybe they're just not in your direct vicinity. Maybe, it's just not the same. So that is my advice, is to take whatever longings you have with, you know, the things you wished would have happened for you in the past, emotional support, doing fun things together, whatever, doing art together, having someone to talk to and laugh with, things like that. Apply that as much as possible with the relationships that are in your life. And, maybe find groups where you can apply that to, like go out and try something new and meet new people and try and apply that there. If that makes sense. In whatever way you can, bring that new seed energy. In whatever way that you can to that situation, to the situation that is with you here and now, that you can do directly in your reality. And I think nothing is ever unsalvageable. So there's always hope with any kind of relationship. But it's more about like you and your inner world and how you relate to it, if that makes sense, than it is about like externally trying to create that and change that and make it better. It's about how you come to it on the inside. What energy do you bring to that person, to that situation? What kind of emotions do you bring to that situation? If you're bringing the emotion of joy and excitement, and then you're also bringing the energy of like, oh, good, I get the chance to, do something good here. I start again with this relationship, with this, this is a new experience for me. That's way better than the fearful version of like, not this again, like I want to avoid this situation at all costs. Maybe this is going to bring out some fear in you and it's just going to create more tension. So again, it's just tending to those seeds and which ones feel better for you and which ones don't. And it's not always black and white, but you know yourself and you can figure out what feels better for you and what doesn't. Okay, that's just your innate compass. It's always with you. So, good luck.